One. Welcome to the Unpopular Opinion. Happy Black History Month.
On the Unpopular Opinion, we have author of Surviving Tough Times, MsUnderstood Adrienne, entrepreneur, Miss AmorBlue, Tatiana, owner of MentalMassage, Melinda, your host, Stradivari, on the Unpopular Opinion. So let me ask you, ladies, about virtual reality and metaverse, the virtual gaming world. How is life virtually working for you? The gaming world has just turned up on ATS TV.
Welcome to the Metaverse. The Metaverse is totally about gaming and control. Control of your virtual reality. Tonight's show is about the sisters and their virtual reality on the Metaverse. What is actually Metaverse and what can Metaverse do for you? Are you into virtual reality? Let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Let's just go ahead and see what it actually is.
You've probably heard a lot of chatter about the metaverse. Facebook and Microsoft have both staked claims to it. But what even is it? As USA Today explains, author Neal Stephenson is credited with coining the term metaverse in his 1992 science fiction novel, Snow Crash. In the novel, he envisioned lifelike avatars who met in realistic 3D buildings and other virtual reality environments. The metaverse is still developing, so it's hard to completely explain what it is, but it has the potential for us to have things like digital wardrobes, a digital economy, and create an entire digital persona. You may even have a digital house where you can host digital parties. As Wired explains, quote, mentally replace the phrase the metaverse in a sentence with cyberspace. 90% of the time, the meaning won't substantially change, unquote.
So, sisters, are we in the virtual world or what? Have we moved into the virtual world? I mean, now that these people have these Roku band glasses, which with a supercomputer locked into their minds. Let's think about this one. Well, let me just ask you ladies. Let's ask a little bit about anyone know a little bit about the metaverse. How about you, Miss Melinda? You just walked in on us. What about you?
You put me on the spot and I just jumped in. Good evening, lovely people. I know a little bit, I know a lot about the metaverse. What's the question? What do I know?
Yeah.
What do I think? So I like to talk about the metaverse from my era as being the first time when we were building out a world, and it was, in my opinion, was The Sims. And so if you were around during the era of The Sims in Sim City, you were creating a universe, like literally, my son actually calls it, there's a name for it. You're creating all the aspects of life in the physical in a virtual or digital space or game. And it's not about winning, it's just about living, right? That's really the distinction. So it was a game space, three-dimensional space where you could recreate your life. So metaverse is essentially that, except that now, fast forward, I don't know, 20, 30 years, we're literally talking about running businesses, selling cannabis, selling Nikes, doing everything you can do in real life through a digital representation of yourself and on the internet. So essentially that's the metaverse. And we now have augmented reality and virtual reality technology that allows it to be a lot more real in your experience doing it.
Okay. What about your virtual reality, Miss Tatiana? Do you know anything about the metaverse?
So I think about, I like video games, and I think about when they first came out with the VR. I really wasn't interested in The Sims because it it just wasn't far enough along for me. But I did do like the virtuality with that, and like basketball was like one of the first things you could do. So you like was playing with basketball players. That was like pretty good. My big thing is that people can change who they are. Like you can have a representation of yourself, but you can also change into what you want to be. You can make yourself different, almost recreate and rebrand yourself in this other world. So it will make it good for people who aren't socially, like, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Like, you know, like they're not ready to go out and be social with people, but they still want that connection. So on a different level, as far as what I would want to do with that, I mean, as far as branding, I would like it, but to be like going to a party and totally being there, I think the physical definitely is a huge aspect that I still want. So, I mean, there's great things to it. It allows you, if you can't make it to the basketball game, to be at the basketball game, to do those things and connect with your family. But at the same time, there has to be some detachment with reality, you know, detachment from that and go back to reality.
Okay. What about you, Miss A? About your metaverse?
Well, the way I was thinking of it is the way that Melinda just described it, the way Tatiana just described it. However, instead of thinking that there is a shut off, there is a, a put together type of a thing, to the point where there isn't a shut off. Like, so instead of thinking that you wouldn't be literally going to the party, you are going to the party, or I should say, the party comes to you. So it's like, I know that instead, see, I'm not a virtual person. So for me, it's like I'm the person that sits behind the person that plays the video game. Got me? So I see the virtual part of it in the reality, which makes you look really crazy, because half the time when those people have the glasses on and they're playing the game, you look crazy playing the game in real world, because we're watching you and we're trying to figure out, what in the world is this man doing? Or what is this lady doing? You know, so when it comes down to playing the game, I guess it would make it so great, because now not are you sitting in front of the TV hitting the buttons, you know. Like, I remember when I felt the remote control shake for the first time when I was playing like Mortal Kombat or something. I was like, oh, what's wrong with the machine? And they were trying to give you the feel of it. So I'm probably really, really old school when I said that I dropped it then. But now for them to be able to sit in the same room with the people that they're playing with, instead of just being in their ears, because right now they're talking to each other from all of the different places where they're playing. So what the metaverse is going to do is going to give you more of a real feel, to the point where you're not only going to be talking to them, but they'll actually be able to, like, their avatars will be able to pop up in your world, so that as you are laughing, you're not laughing by yourself anymore. You're watching the other people laugh with you. Like, because they're doing it in their ears. If you listen, like when they're like 5 or 6 of them playing, they're doing it. So the metaverse for that would be that one person sitting there, but the 5 other faces are like right there, and they're all interacting. And then when it comes down to the digital clothing and everything, it reminds me of the Jetsons. I'm gonna be honest. It reminds me of the Jetsons, how we used to sit and look at the Jetsons like, wow, what are they doing? And all of that. That's the metaverse. You know, like where Vicky knew what they ate, how to make their food, and it came out of her stomach. You know what I mean? So it's like we're moving slowly to it. However, it scares me, because I want people to live in a reality that makes it real for them. Because when you don't have the feel of it, you lose a lot. You know, like, technology is the best thing, but who wants to follow their GPS to the place where they know how to go?
Well,
You know what I mean? Like, you know the route, but the GPS keeps telling you, make this left right here, and you're thinking, for what? Like, that wouldn't make sense. And that's the scary part to me of when we get into that world and we play in that world. Where is where's the kill switch? You know how in iRobot, where like everything is one way, but you can flip the switch and drive manually.
Okay.
Like you need to be able to drive manually, because sooner or later, I mean, Vicky told you in iRobot, if you wasn't listening to shit. I mean, she told you that the computer is going to take over your human brain because you don't logically think about things. And if we set it up that we want them to run it, they will then take over because we have brains and we have feelings and we have hearts. So we love and we care. And those machines are not going to do that, regardless of how close you think that you go.
Right. Okay. So now I got an understanding of how you guys are thinking of the metaverse. And the metaverse technically is, I'm gonna go a little bit more into the metaverse if I could. The metaverse technically now is trying to virtually be able to see what's in front of you and also be able to play the game at the same time. Also, if you're at a concert, you can sit with somebody else and they can watch the concert right next to you, even though they're not there. So it's given more of a virtual reality, also reality moment. And it's given a insight of seeing technically everything that you're seeing and what somebody else is seeing. Also in the metaverse, they're definitely trying to move towards remotely doing things like your classroom, like you're teaching your classroom. So if all the kids in the classroom had their um glasses on, they would be at home, but it would be like they're sitting right inside the classroom in a class setting, doing everything remotely, but still having class. So, and also remotely, these glasses, you can move your hands and everything, and it's still virtually giving the movements of your hands. So you don't even have to have anything in your hands. They're automatically designed to virtually give you arms. So you're able to pick up things, touch things virtually, something different totally that you haven't been able to do virtually ever. So it's a very good insight of just knowing what virtually they're trying to do and give you an understanding of what track they're going in, on being able to see what's in front of you and actually play the game and actually virtually be with somebody else where they're somewhere else around the world. This is the point of the metaverse, is what I want to pinpoint. The remote part and how work will start getting commonly known into the virtual world as a real job. So this is where we're going right now. The only pushback I do have is it's able to track everything through your Instagram and your Facebook. So if you got to do this virtual world thing, everything's going to be running through Facebook, and all of the information you have in Facebook, that starts your virtual world through that. So if you have your Facebook pages and your Instagram, your whole world starts through there first. You kind of like tear it through and bite away the things that you want to do in there, but you start with that first. So what do you ladies think about that part? What you think about that, Ms. A? On the virtual world part, the remote, the working from home, and actually everything being like right there. So you're like at your desk, but you're not at your desk, and it's virtually right in front of you. What you think?
Well, I mean, it works. Like I said, it works as long as you put the glasses on, right? If you got to clock in and you got to put your glasses on, it's going to help out with, like, if they were really to do it, it would help out with the pollution and traffic and all of that, because there wouldn't be people on the streets anymore. Everybody will be stuck in the house. Like, everybody will be in the house. Let me say it like that, because they're trying to get you in the house, back into the house in some type of way. But they figure if they put it in a game form, you'll be ready to play the game. So you'll go in the house and play the game. Don't nobody want to sit in the house because they told you to sit in the house. But if they make the virtual reality that you can do everything that you need to do without stepping out your house, then they've actually tricked you into sitting in your house with them goggles on your face, thinking that you touching the world.
Okay, what about you?
And I guess they're doing it. I mean, I guess they're doing it right now, though, right? Like
Right,
people that lost their jobs and can come to work every day with the Zoom and all that. Isn't that like the beginning of what they're doing? Like what you said is what the people are doing now, right? Like
right.
if they're not going to work, they're doing it from home. I mean, there's the difference is they log into the computer, and I guess they won't have to log in the computer. They just put the glasses on.
What do you think about that, Miss Tatiana? Makes sense.
It has its pros and its cons. I guess I'll start with the pros. Being able to put you into a world that people can step into, they can actually, dimensionally see things like they would in person, your product, whatever you're doing, if you're standing there, family memories, pictures and things like that. All of those things sound great because with how far people are and how we can't actually move towards each other, it would be great in those sense and all those, and business and things like that. But then you have to think of the other side of how much access that you're giving to people past what you normally do when you're on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, you might do a video and yeah, you might do a picture, but if you're inside the metaverse, you're really giving them access way beyond that. And I'm sure they have not figured out guidelines on how to stop people from doing certain things that you wouldn't want done to you or to do to your place. Like, I'm trying to figure out how they would stop all of those type things. Are they going to securitize it? Like, are you going to give me security like my house gives me security? And, it opened up many doors. Like, I can't even imagine how many ways that will be. So everything, you have a pro and a con as long as there's some type of rules or leverage. Otherwise, I mean, somebody could literally just make it to your home. Like, off of that, like based upon what they're piecing together, if you're going to put that information on there. So as far as when you talk about the metaverse, that's something that I would have to think about wanting to do more than making like a store. And then you're adding to my Facebook and Instagram. Like, imagine just putting all those pictures together like that, how much access somebody would have to you.
What about you, Miss Melinda?
Well, first of all, this is my jam, right? I'm a technologist. I am an electrical engineer that designed microelectronics. So this is literally my jam. So I could talk about this forever. And I'm also a person as a technologist that studies and talks, like literally I do talks about the concept of technology and generational kind of pushback, right? I am working with a group of amazing folks who are putting together a metaverse that's different than what we're talking about. And I guess that's the first thing to think about. So when you say you're going to have all your information on Facebook, I don't agree with that. Not in the immediate sense, right? Facebook will have a metaverse. Like, we're in the Milky Way galaxy, right? Facebook will have one, but other people have metaverses as well. And because it's driven off of infrastructure, people will own it. And the people who own it will be the infrastructure owners and the developers. So, of course, Facebook has a very, very large development community, but others do too, who will jump into this. I mentioned the piece about Nike selling online, cannabis being sold online today. And I do like the distinction that you and Ms. A made around. It's really a combination. It's an infusion of technology with real life, right? So today, you can go to a cannabis store in the metaverse, and then they will deliver it to your real house. So to get to Ms. Tatiana's point, just like with any advancement of technology, you're going to have to police and manage yourself because it's new, right? So it was a time when you couldn't talk on the phone. You only could talk to people, right? And so I'm sure people were very uncomfortable with this concept of like, what is this technology that allows me to talk through the air or through lines to people across the country? And people probably can hear that because it goes through, the voice goes through equipment. Back then, PBSs, right? PBXs. And that was so people, the generation that didn't have the evolution of technology always distrust. But I can tell you right now, my son who's 11 doesn't know a world where there wasn't a metaverse. When he started playing Roblox, which is a metaverse, he has a persona on there. So to Miss Tatiana's point, your representation of yourself can be whatever it is, but he has a representation on there. He's had it. We talked about it since he was 4, before I ever knew he was even playing it. And all the things that happen in the world that are bad happen there too. My first introduction of knowing, like really becoming aware that he was on this thing, was him telling me that his avatar was not Black because they didn't let Black people avatars in certain games. Well, he's a little boy. So that prompted a whole discussion, right? I've heard he also has had the Oculus 5 for a year. So I've heard my first experience with that was someone calling him the N-word. I heard it, like Ms. A said, I heard it because you can hear them talking, interacting. I hear all kinds of really maladjusted social behavior taking place on there all the time. So it actually just transfers what happens in real life to a different media, to a media that is both technology and human fused together. But you're going to have the same challenges. You're going to protect your information just like you do today. And as technology evolves, people are always going to be less comfortable, right? They're always going to feel like it's somehow less safe. And in some ways it is. But evolution is evolution, and technology is going to be used regardless. And guess what? Technology cannot replace a human because it's technology. So you're always going to have both elements. And that human piece is where you're going to have to make some decisions about how you engage with technology. So, again, I could do this forever because this is my jam.
Well, you know what? I did want to say something to you. I wanted to bounce back to you. I just want to talk about how the metaverse is moving into the crypto and how you can buy pretty much a mansion on there, and it's a mansion that you can make in reality. So you can build a whole mansion, build a whole platform, build your whole, store business inside of like cryptocurrency. Next thing you know, you got millions and billions of dollars and you can just hit the checkout button. It's kind of weird and kind of crazy for that reality. What do you think about the cryptocurrency actually filtering into the metaverses? And I'm gonna take that Miss Melinda on that because cryptocurrency, and then I'm gonna ask Miss Adrienne on that one too. Then Miss Tatiana.
So again, from a technology perspective, they're tied together because of the way that tokens are used in gaming. That's how it started, right? So Roblox to me is an excellent. I always talk about Roblox as a little kid game. Minecraft was similar, but it didn't have the same sophistication with tokens that Roblox had. Roblox has essentially a tokenized fiat currency called Robux, right? They have a fake dollar system that these kids steal from their parents. They charge up thousands of dollars in credit cards to make their avatar look fresh, like my son just told me he was going to do for me, like Ms. A said. So there is a currency exchange that happens in these games for various different things. So the metaverse is riding on the concept of gaming first, right? So where there is gaming, there is this concept of tokens. And so crypto is a token, a digital token that can be used for commerce and exchange. And so it is inherently a part of the fundamental concept because you have to have a way to exchange goods. You can't hand somebody a paper dollar or a gold bullion in the metaverse because you cannot hand them anything. You can hand them a tokenized version of that, very similar to what you're talking about real estate. I actually work with folks who are tokenizing real estate. I have investments in people who are tokenizing gold. So, crypto is short for cryptocurrency. So the currency exchange piece is there. And so they're one and the same in some ways, right? In some ways, if you're going to do commerce. And to the point about jobs. So if Nike is selling their shoes in a store, in the metaverse. There is, a new type of job that has to exist. Now, will technology be able to economize? So you probably don't need as many people to run that, but you still need people, because at some point you got to collect money and people want to, have an exchange about what they like. So there's a set of skills and jobs that come out of this that's different than what we've seen in the past. So that's just, that's how it works. But every element is there. So the money piece is there, drugs is there, drugs has been there. So one of the things about gaming and cryptocurrency, let's go back to crypto. You talking about crypto. I was on a Forbes women's leadership conference, and this woman who had made millions and millions of dollars in crypto was on and trading Forex, actually. And it was a different lady talking about crypto who had come from the FBI, talked about her time in the FBI when they would like search all these people down, and how she got so good at understanding the utility of crypto back when the government saw it as straight black market, like only criminals use this. So it is because of the transparency and the lack of oversight. It is a medium that can and will be anything that can be utilized and leveraged by people to do nefarious as well as good things will. So all of that is, it's all just a part of it.
Wow, Miss A, what about you in the cryptocurrency in the metaverse world?
Hey, what she said, right? Like, it's all about the tokens. We all want to play a game. Everybody wants to play a game. Like she just said, kids are stealing credit cards and charging $1,000 to put something on a game. I'm sorry. Like, so that you can keep playing the game. And we want you to keep playing the game. So you're not bothering me and what I'm doing. It's the new thing, right?
Is it the new thing? I mean, when it comes to virtual reality,
if you're willing to put the glasses on, it's your new thing.
Okay.
But then you think about the Warren Buffetts of the world who aren't even touching it, and they are still where they are. You know what I mean? So it's I believe it's all in the choice. Unfortunately, what's going to happen is then like you have it now, the difference, it's going to eventually, be technology. If I know that that's the way that the world is going. However, I just pray that there is some type of reality, human component that is always having to become this. Because you can play a game until it's no time for games anymore. Then you got to take the glasses off. And then where are you at? Standing in the same dirt that you've been in for the last 10 years that you've been playing the game, because you got your eyes in the thing now. So I don't know. Like, and if you can make, listen, I'm just saying, it sounds good, but at the end of the day, it's just like everybody's not going to be driving Maseratis just because somebody's going to be driving a damn Honda.
You could drive a Maserati. You could
cryptocurrency. In your head, in that game, you might be able to drive a Maserati, but I don't know if you're going anywhere. Do you understand? So if you need to get from point A to point B, and the way that you're doing it is through the metaverse, I'm back at the fact that you ain't left your house, so you probably have nothing outside.
I think it's like a telekinesis type thing. Like, I want to be in Paris. You know what I'm saying? Be in Paris sometime.
And that's that shit I'm talking about. You know how somebody say, wake up and smell the damn coffee? Stop dreaming. All of that, what they're doing is they're allowing you to dream.
Yeah, but your dream could become a reality. That's what I'm trying to say.
They need to, and they need to.
When it comes to the crypto,
how does it do it? Do I have to put money in it? Do you understand? I got to change my real money to make money, because if that was the case, do you understand? We're not all in this thing, so it's not oh yeah, sure, like get it. No, you got to get in to get your coin. Correct? They're not handing out coins at the store. When you get change, or you get
remotely move your job to that, and they use crypto in your job, in your workforce. It's remote now. What about that?
What you mean? My paycheck is coming remotely in this cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So then it forces me to have to go into that crypto world. That's what I'm saying. So but the world can't go there because everybody's not going to be in that world.
But what if we was like 2 years ago, we were sitting at home? This would have been perfect.
What would have been perfect?
The virtual reality would have been perfect.
That's what I'm saying, but nobody really literally liked it. So now that's the whole point. They didn't like it the way that it needed to be done. So now we're going to put a whole game on it, tell you that it's virtual, and tell you that we done made the metaverse, and your dumbasses is going to go home anyway. See the difference?
No, but
you're going to put your glasses on, and you're going to play your game. And then you have your 5 friends real close to you.
But
you're not going to feel alone because you can pull them up.
But they was making a reality now that when you walk outside, you can still see with the glasses. So
right. So
I hate to say it.
Let's be clear.
Shout out to all of the people that never played a sport. Shout out to them because it is now your turn.
But let's be clear, the metaverse is not about just gaming now. It's just built on top of the foundation of gaming.
Okay.
Right?
No, that's what I'm talking about. Right. So they based it off of the game. So therefore they would not be it's gaming because that's the thing that thrives on us. We like to win. People like to win. You like to own something, and once you're there, like that's how they got us all hooked up on the Candy Crush or whatever. So it's like they let you play like 3 games or whatever, and then before you know it, you get hooked on the fact that you done got to the next level, and then all of a sudden you need to purchase some coins, huh? What do you mean? I was playing the game innocently, but now I got to play the game. So now you make the conscious decision on whether were you just playing the game to really play the game, or are you about to win? Are you about to go into your real bag, your real pocketbook, and put this real money on this game? But how many people literally are doing it, still doing it? We have kids that, Melinda just said it. Kids come and ask their parents for tokens every other day for a game. But I watch parents pay it all the time because, like I said, they like their kids playing them games because as long as the kids are playing the games, they are engaging with the game and not themselves, not with the adult. Trust me.
That may be true.
It sounds good until it's not good.
But let me offer an alternative view as a parent who has a child who has games. I'm a parent that has a child who has games. My son also plays 5 or 6 sports and 5 or 6 instruments. So to suggest that because my son plays games, I am, wanting to have them babysit him would be a fallacy. And I've thought very, very hard about.
Melinda. I'm just saying that's for Miss Melinda.
Of course. And I mean, I have a lot of people like me that's in my world. So I'm saying that's not the only reason that I would have my son play a game. And here's an example why. Because the reality of the fact is he and I grew up in 2 different eras. And if he doesn't understand how to interact with technology, that's like growing up and not knowing how to type. That was technology at some point. A typewriter was technology. A cell phone was technology. So in his era, coding is like typing. And I've had this argument with schools before who want to have a pedagogy that's old school and we don't. Okay, well, your kids won't understand the world they're living in. They don't have to be a coder or a developer, but it's literally like typing. I wasn't a typist, but I needed to know how to type to do stuff. He needs to understand what's happening. When I'm describing to him what YouTubers are doing, he's watching YouTube. We all are. Mm-hmm. So I'm describing to him the technology behind, the business behind ads, advertisement. He has to know that. That's his world. So there is like you said, there's a balance, right? And I struggle with it all the time. Like, I don't want him to be obsessed with it, but I also would not want me personally, we all have a choice, right? Would not want him to be completely void of understanding of it because it's his world, whether it's mine or not, whether I like it, it's out here. Right. And it's not all bad, really. Right. Like he could actually build he could learn to code. He could build and he will have a very ever-present marketing campaign with his merch, like he asked me to buy for Christmas. I want a t-shirt machine because I want to make merch. He already has his logo. He's a creative. Like, that's not bad stuff. So it's like everything else. You got to teach people how to use the tools they have in a good way. The tool itself is not bad, in my opinion. That's what I would say.
What about you, Tatiana, on that, on your virtual?
I think when, especially hearing what Miss Melinda said, it comes to what people value. I'm actually going to take this back a little bit further before all of this. I remember going to Disneyland when I was little, and they was like Disney dollars.
Okay.
And there was no value to people who don't care about Disney. Like, you don't care about Disney, you don't care about Goofy, like that wasn't your thing. The Disney dollar did not matter to you. But for somebody who would care about my product, or your product, Miss A, or even Miss Melinda's product, and they want to go there, they'd be willing to deal in the currency or what you want as a monetary fund. The one part I like about this is the barter trade system, because for a long while before I ever started working the job I did, I literally worked on the barter trade system. Was like, oh, what can you do for me? What can I do for you? I'm hoping that in getting something like this, where people can go to the metaverse, they'll use that more than anything else, and not do it. Being in a school where we teach like STEM and all of those things, I'm hoping that the students find it a way to connect with more people, but also use that physically and find out what they like, find out what they, are good at, and sell that in whatever they want. As Miss A said, you don't want to sit in your house and never get anything. So I'm hoping that what you sell inside this metaverse, just like what I sell on Facebook, would sell and make my life more comfortable here. Because like you say, I could be in the computer all day long. If I'm sitting in a dirt hole, it's not going to be comfortable. So I want those two to overlap with each other without causing me harm. That's why I said there has to be, I can police myself all I want, but if they're not going to help police the area, then that's where I kind of get not confused, but I'm like worried about the situation. But it's all about what people favor. I'm just hoping it allows more people who are like-minded to meet up at the same thing. Being a gamer now and liking those things, I loved when the VR came out. I was so excited to see the thing, and they were like, "Oh, you have to get someone." I was like, "I'm not paying that." Like, it just wasn't. I couldn't do it. I was like, "I'm not paying that." I was like, "Is there a way that I can hack this? Is there?" I immediately, and people do that. There's games they have, so all of that I think is like pro con, but it has way more pros. I'd love, like, I haven't seen my family in like 3-4 years overseas. I'd love to be able to actually see them, and if the closest that I could get is that would be great. If I could reach other people and sell my jewelry, then I would be elated amongst that. But I'm hoping people use it to a betterment of life, a betterment of health. Like, I'm just not thinking of like the fun part of it, because I feel like for the last 2 years we've been talking about our health, but I don't see people doing it. You're like, oh, I don't want to do this. Well, what have you been doing for the last 2 years for your health? Oh, nothing. So that's where I'm hoping it leads towards.
Okay. So this metaverse is kind of different to me. What about you guys in this virtual reality? Would you actually do this virtual reality? Like, let's be honest on here. Would you buy a Roku, Miss A? Would you buy a Roku?
I would buy the Roku because I think I have it, but I have no idea what it is. So it's sitting behind the television.
Oh wow, so you actually have one. Okay. What about you, Miss Tatiana? Would you buy a Roku? Would you buy one? You I didn't hear what you had to say. What did you say?
You talking about a Roku, like the box?
No, Roku glasses, not the TV.
Oh, like, isn't that the same company that's making it?
Yes, it costs $2.99 to buy these virtual glasses, would you buy one?
$2.99 or
I'm
which
sorry, I thought
$2.99?
you was talking
I
about the
feel
box.
like, hold on,
I
I'm
was
not
like,
trying to
man,
be
I got that in it. I thought you was talking
I'll
about the
tell you
box.
right now. I'm gonna be honest. As far as buying glasses to get into something, I would be hoping somebody like me. I know Miss Melinda. I want y'all to buy me in. Like I'm the. I feel like I have that much. Like
Okay.
if I'm gonna advertise on there and to do it, like why wouldn't you give? Why couldn't that be something given to people and then you work towards it? That's what I would be I would be going for at first, because right now I'm not super invested in that. Like, yeah, I'm not super sold and invested on that part. Yes, it's something I want to be a part of, but at the same time, it's like, you know, how am I going to get into the gateway of that right now? How does that help me immediately? Like, why would I spend that amount of money? What's that going to give me? You know what I'm saying? Immediately, what am I going to do? So for somebody like me, I'm going to be thinking the next plan. Okay, how can I get this for a discount? How can I get this for something else so that I would be able to move forward? Because that's what I'm saying. That whole barter trade thing, I'm thinking on the level
Y'all do know it's
not just money. Like, it's like stones. People used to trade rocks. Penguins give pebbles. Like,
it's a supercomputer though, so you're not going to pay $299 for a supercomputer.
I'm just saying it depends on what the value and how it is to me and what I can do with it immediately. Like, would I pay something and nobody's there that is going to betterment of my life? That doesn't make sense to me right now. Like, it doesn't. I ain't even bought the PlayStation 5. I really want it and I ain't bought it because it's not a betterment of me right now. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's something like that I would consider an investment, because if I bought it, I'm going to build on it immediately. If I can't think about what I'm going to do with it, how I'm going to build, that's not something I'm going to purchase right now.
I thought this was an investment right
It
now.
is, but I'm just saying, how many people are there? Like, what else do I have to spend besides the price of the thing? See, that's what I'm saying. You talking about that's like buying a car and then be like, yeah, I'm straight now. I bought the car. You still got to put gas in it. You still got to put insurance on it. So my thing is the bottom line cost. If I can't barter, trade, or make money off of it when I get it, is that really a great thing? You saying you keep yelling $2.99. It's not just $2.99.
Oh, so okay. So you want to know what you can do with it when you have it.
Right, I mean, like immediately. Like, I'm saying, I want to know what I can do with it.
I sold it. I thought I sold it.
I understand what you're saying, but you're talking in theory. I need a legit plan of what I'm going to do with these in a particular metaverse. How big am I able to build? What am I able to build with? What tokens am I able to use? How is it supposed to be funded? What, like, there is a symmetrical. So what if I put $2.99 in and then they say, oh yeah, you got to throw this amount of money in there. You got to throw it. Now I'm in the red and I haven't even set up yet. So
that is the point. That's the point of the token. That's the point of the metaverse. Because once I got you, then the next thing for you to go to the next door and me to open it, you got to put this amount of money in. Right. You will not be able to go forward until you do this. So now, if y'all don't like that, now you're gonna buy into this, and you want to go over there, and that's great because you can buy into that. It's great. But we've been wanting to not be bought for how long, and this, that, and the other thing. But now it's something new. And like Melinda said, the hell with it. We about to teach our children. This is their reality. So what is really happening? So if they are not coding, if they are not developing, if they are not finding their own infrastructures and being that platform that they need to be, then they are going to be broke. How is that broke going to look? Are there going to be someplace where they're on the outside of the metaverse begging for money? Because some people are going to be begging for money. Because like
you're
you
talking
said, T,
theory.
you done bought your
You're
damn
talking
glasses,
theory.
and now
need
you can't got no gas.
Right. He bad because all I'm saying is I'm not saying it won't work, but you're talking in theory. And when I hear Miss Melinda, I get all those ideas. But at the same time, for somebody like me, I feel like $2.99 is probably like times that by 5 what you're going to need to get at least started in my mind.
Well, he said.
And hold up, nope. Because when I started my business, I was
Who
in
do you
red
play
before I
with?
got black.
I got a question. Who do you play with? Because then if you got one, I need you to get one, Mr. B. Like we all have to have the machine in order for us to play it, correct? Because if I done came up and now I'm waiting on y'all to come up. I done bought the damn thing, but now I'm waiting on Melinda to go get her glasses. So she ain't got her glasses yet.
It's kind
but
of
I don't have nobody to play with.
It's kind of like the internet. At least 3 of us have been living long enough that we did not have the internet. That's hard to imagine, right? And
but
so
that's what I'm saying. That's how I know I can make it. In order for me to send you an email, you got to have the internet, right? Yes. Well, you got to learn how to check it. Shit, you got to know how to check the damn thing. How about that? Because you can have it, so don't know how to check it.
My point is, you always feel like that about new technology. That's human. It's natural to be like, oh, I mean, just think about when we didn't have the internet. We in our lifetime, we did not have the internet. that's
we lived a beautiful world.
Right.
We did. We lived in a beautiful world. Right. Our children were grown up, right? Our children had no problem. We didn't have to worry about the man. All we had to do was worry about the man in the white van. We told everybody to stay away from the man in the white van.
This show is a far extension of what the internet is. Right. What we're doing right now.
Right, but it's still
y'all talking about y'all in a drug-free state. Look, y'all in a drugs-free state. Melinda talked about the internet. You can go on the internet and order the weed, and it comes to you naturally. I'm thinking, where the hell do they live at? Like, we're all in different parts of the world, everybody. So that means that this is just the beginning. Look, this is just the beginning of what the metaverse is.
Give my answer.
The metaverse coming into their houses. So everybody that's watching right now, what you would be able to do is you would be able to hit Mr. B's screen and bring him all the way to your living room. He'd be able to sit right in front of you. See that right there like that? He's coming all the way in the living room. If you want him to eat, if you want him to feed him later, you hit the extra button on the side and then he gets to stay.
It's like we in the dial-up version of the internet right now. We're in the dial-up version. Broadband is like Jetsons was my favorite cartoon, and I was disappointed that we don't have flying cars. And I am too. Literally, when the video conferencing came out, my very first comment was, finally. The Jetsons had been up video conferencing. So I said, now we just need holograms because they had them in the Jetsons.
What year was that? It was 2056 or something though, right?
I don't remember.
I believe
I didn't pay attention. I just knew it was 20.
We haven't gotten there yet. Put it this way. Whatever the year the Jetsons have, we're not there yet. So we are working on it and we're moving on it. It's only 2022. But I think it was like 2052 or something. I don't know. You gotta check.
Really?
And check.
I was like a little girl. This is a long time ago. So can I give my answer on technology? On the metaverse, on getting it.
Actually.
No way. No way. So that's probably funny, right? Because I am an advocate for understanding the value of technology. But I have always been a late adopter. I went off on every phone company when they took away the mechanical buttons that you used to push on the cell phones. I hated touchscreen. I hate it. I just like the mechanical feel. And it's more reliable, actually. In some ways, and this is what I'm going to talk about, technology evolution and Tatiana's point. It was more reliable because the technology in general is kind of like you talk about the rock in a rock in a tree, right? When that was the technology for people to live, out amongst in the elements, that was the technology, right? And so you got better and better at being able to utilize that technology, produce it, right? The resources went towards that. So same way with my mechanical keyboard or my mechanical buttons on my phone, it was naturally a more robust technology, kind of like the stone and the flint and the wood, right? Out in the wilderness. But then what happened is all the resources got put into touchscreen technology. And so it became equally, if not better, as far as robustness and reliability. That's technology, right? So, but I'm not into early adopting. I didn't buy that Oculus. I don't even support him having it, aside from the fact that it is a part of his universe. So, I'm not a person that I just like for him to know about things, particularly technology. So, I didn't buy it. It was $500 last Christmas, I think. I remember the PlayStation was, I think those were going for what? It was either $1,200 or $2,500. Whatever it was ridiculous. I haven't bought a game system. The game system I bought was used from GameStop when he was 3 because I was tired of him watching Just Dance videos on YouTube. I'm like, you could do Just Dance. And they were doing that in the schools. Now, I still not bought another game system, and I refuse to buy them. Not because I don't appreciate technology and gaming. I do. I just, to Tatiana's point, the cost benefit analysis doesn't weigh out for me. Like, it's more money than I feel like I should have to pay for the value that I put into it. Somebody else, is doing a different thing. Those glasses you're talking about, I might get them, right? Because it's like the internet, right? But I probably wouldn't be first to get them. I would wait for the investment to go in and quote unquote capitalism to work. And what happens is the more people are coming out with competition, the cheaper it will be. And to Tatiana's point, at some point, do you remember how much the first cell phone cost? Well, these cost a lot too, right? But cost, like having more people produce and compete to sell, drives down costs, which allows for more people to have it at a cheaper price point. That's how it works with technology. So if you want to you pay to be an earlier adopter, right? You pay to have the first, remember the first iPhone? Like, you paid to be the first to have that stuff. The other people are okay with waiting until it gets cheaper and getting the cheaper technology when it's more proliferate and more ubiquitous. I'm like that. I ain't being an early adopter. That ain't my thing. I ain't paying to be like, I got this first thing. Not doing that.
Let's go ahead and read a little bit of these comments real quick. I think, Sandra actually believes that there will be a pool for gifts they've developed from all that they can do, because there are minds. They are wired to be new and upcoming. So somebody's able to develop new things and children are able to build. Right now, this is actually the perfect time to, if you are a gamer or trying to be a gamer, to actually go in and put forth a little bit of benefit to see if you can actually develop more
of what people think something is worth.
Yeah, well, many of these ideas are being developed to catch, attention off to the next into the next generation. So it's like a cloning type thing is what she's saying. So what do you think this is? I do think the whole development of this plan, which is building your businesses and developing a whole virtual world, that the reality that you haven't made it to right now in your world right now, that you can make that virtual world the reality that you really want it to be virtually. So that's kind of the gift that is giving you. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, Miss A. I know it's a dream unmade to be made.
You better get a damn job. You better do what you need to do and get out that damn game.
Developing that, though. That's what I'm trying to say to you. This is the time to do that. You like get a job. This is.
You mean this is the time for the children to do that? That's what you're saying? It's okay to show the children how to do it, so that is where they are going. Like Melinda said, her son is like 10, 11 years old. They are the ones. Now, we have time to do it, but if you're talking longevity of building legacies of whatever, then I see children learning how to code, gaming, and all that for their generation. But, to me, I'm not sitting in front of a computer trying to make the next Fortnite. It's not me.
But you're sitting in front of a computer right now.
Only because I love y'all. And only because I believe in Antonio's dream. And at the end of the day, I came on here to give some unpopular opinion, and I really want to talk about the damn metaverse. So, if you really want to know, but I'm here. because this is what we're talking about. But we
But
talk about all types of
you're
stuff
still accomplishing the
here.
goal. You still talking about an unpopular opinion. It's just on the metaverse.
And understand that that's why I like this, because where we're talking about it because we're on Mexit News. And Mexit News is a part of our own Mexit First. Like, it's simple. The same way, Melinda, you just said that everyone doesn't have to go through Facebook, because it'll be different people, different companies, different entities building their own infrastructure where they'll be able to rent out the space so that you can play in that space. So it doesn't have to be Facebook, because you can go to the Mexitverse. You know, like if this develops into the way that Antonio sees the dream, now I believe in the dream. If one day I have to put the glasses on to see the reality of this dream, then that is then how you build the people to get the glasses to put them on, like Tatiana just said. But it comes with more than, oh, these glasses is $2.99. These glasses will become your world. These glasses are your opportunity so that you are no longer stuck in the house by yourself. You know what I mean? Like this listen, they talk about phone sex was a bad thing. Think about it. Phone sex was you still was on the phone. What if they could put the sex in the eyeball glasses and you put the glasses on and have all kinds of sex you need? That's safe, ain't it? I'm just saying.
That's what I understand, that after the millennials, whatever they're called, that they are supposed to be generally, well, it was said to me in a more facetious way. I was girlfriends that are very smart people that I went to high school with. We got together years ago, also had teenage children. So yeah, you know, the younger kids are asexual. I said, what? What are you talking about? So they don't really care as much about, and it is true that people get married a lot less. There's a lot less, physical interaction because of the gaming interaction. So
and that you know why that is? Yeah, you know that's why that is. Yeah. So that eventually there'll be more computers than there will be humans, because humans have not reproduced, and we no longer have our children coming up. So we no longer have like a whole generation of people, because what will happen is they have allowed us to make the choice to play a game and not deal in anything else. So now you don't have to be man or boy. You don't have to be a boy or a girl. You can be your avatar and all this other stuff. And next thing you know, they're walking around like avatars. Oh, but it's like, I call myself the Will Smith of the I entity. I do. Because once I watched the movie, the first 3 times I didn't like iRobot, but then I heard something that what his name, Sonny. When Sonny said something, he said, "I want to learn how to feel." And then that's when it got crazy, because at the end of the day, think about it, we as humans don't know how to feel. We're all screwed up in our emotions. And if we're listening to the inputs of things, it's not all computing the right way. Right? So that says now I'm in this virtual reality, and I'm playing the virtual reality with your kids. And now you got pedophiles on the thing. You know what I mean? You got all kinds of stuff going on, but they now got this personal persona that they a 15-year-old boy trying to get with your 15-year-old boy. And they a whole damn pedophile in his house. So then it's like, and then like like that video that you showed me earlier about the lady that got raped in the metaverse. Like stuff like that happens. And then it's like, if you can't have your cake and eat it too, like you got to be able to deal with both sides. As much as this thing is, you can come in my house and I can be here with you and everything. This lady said she played the damn game and got gang raped by the people on the damn metaverse.
Yeah, I mean, I know a little girl that apparently had a busto ran on her as a little girl in Roblox.
In Roblox.
So this is what a parent told me. And she said, yeah, she didn't know what was happening. But this is what was right. When the parent looked at the phone, this is what was happening. But my point is, that's not the technology's problem. That's just human behavior, right? Whatever you have,
but that's the human being using that technology. It's the human being using that technology. And then I still have to go back to when you know which way to go and you listening to that GPS. are you going to keep straight when you know damn well you should have made a record?
Well, but I feel like that's a different choice. But what I'm saying is there's
I'm
always
just saying.
there's always a technology. Like that's why I talked about the flint and the wood and the sticks. That was the technology at some point. Right? So the technology in and of itself is just a tool. How you decide to use it is how you decide to use it. And as a human being, we know you got polarity. It's gonna be some good stuff, some bad stuff, some in between stuff. No matter what it is, though. It don't. I mean, that's not gonna change.
Have a question. I have a question for you though. What are they gonna do in, like, it's all good for those that can? How are they gonna bring this differentiation of a lesson into it? How are you gonna help me? Like right now, like Melinda, you said something about the touch screens. Because of my MS and the fact that my fingers don't trigger everything on the screen, half the time that's why I don't use the screen. So I'm anti-tech because it's not really broken down so that I can do it. You got one? Ooh.
No, because my mom is very, so I have something to say about, because my mom is older than all of us are, and she likes to dibble and dabble in technology. Where she can get in, she likes to get in. She likes to make her life in the physical better using technology. She's probably one of the best I know. Like, even though I get aggravated trying to teach her at first, is the best I know at turning the technology shorter. When she realized her finger wasn't working, she said, oh, something got to give. She went out and got her a pen. She got one that goes on her finger. No. Yes, they have ones that goes on your fingers. They got one on things. So what she could take from, I say technically the internet part, because that's part of internet touchscreen, and bring it over, she made it work. She got gloves that do it. So when she has, like she's going out to the car and it's cold, she can still turn to what she needs to, answer her phone if she needs to. So it's a mesh of what she already knows, because she always worked in television, stuff like that, working for them, and trying to make the two cope. She has a cutoff point for where there's no, like, she wouldn't let the metaverse in her life. And that is the distinction I speak of how far I'm going to let you come into my real world. Because the metaverse, you can make yourself a new person there. I think that there's things about me in the physical that I definitely keep from people. I definitely don't want people to have. And that's what the concernment that Miss Melinda talked about, where people need to do that on their own and use your intuition and say, hey, I don't need to give this information out about me. I don't really need this avatar to have my face, my name, in order to do the same thing. And when I look at my mom, she's like the best example of, oh, I don't want to put my face up there, but I'll get on there and do stuff all day long. I'll get up there and buy. Oh, how you buy it? How you do whatever. So for each person, they're going to have to make it work. But, nobody wants to go in the red over it. It's just, that's just the truth. Nobody wants to, whether it be a game, whether it even be for some, or even something you need. You like, goodness, I don't want to be broke for this. Okay. But you want it to better your life. Because no matter what, you're going to be physical.
Here, talking about as much good comes through, bad comes full around. It just comes to hell. So the as much as it's bad all the time, as much as it's good, it still has its ups and downs on this one. I'm a teeter-tot towards it's a good thing, and it should be able to build wealth and more stability to the ones who want it. How about that? Because if you don't actually want this actual virtual games and virtual world, the interaction amongst people, Miss A is definitely talking about, you're missing that part about actually having the interaction amongst human beings. Like, if there's no actual love making, but you're just making it on a virtual reality screen, you're not really making, babies, things are going to happen. So I do, talk about that. And yes, Miss Ashia, it's definitely virtual voice devices on there. So, this metaverse and mexaverse thing is going to be awesome. Actually, it sounds like it's going to be incredible. Miss Melinda, you like that tonight, and Miss A, you was like that tonight. I'm feeling y'all on that. I'm kind of like flabbergasted. The homework was nice on here. How about, let's talk about a little bit of what your businesses are, because soon everyone is going to know about your businesses virtually or, any type of reality. Talk a little bit about yourselves and a little bit about your metaverse or mexiverse. How about building your own businesses and challenging yourselves as entrepreneurs, as women, and throwing it out there with the metaverse and virtual world? How about we just make it a reality? What about you, Miss A?
Oh, I'm all for making real life your reality because we live in a world where the fake thing is the reality. So that's what's screwing us up already. I am misunderstood, Adrienne. For those who understand, you get to understand. You know, if you need to know what's going on, you need to understand why something is happening, or you just don't know how to put it into words, you should reach out to me. And then that way you can just hear it come back from another perspective, and you might feel a little bit better about yourself. I am the author of Surviving Tough Times on Your March Kaseko, where you can, I think, check the link and you'll be able to get that information. But it's at cozycornerpublishing.com, Surviving Tough Times. And if you need me, godgotgoons at gmail.com. I think I'm going with that one right now, especially if you need me to come and talk to you.
All right, my name is Tatiana Sita Amor. I am the owner of AmorBlue. I make waist beads, jewelry. I am also a art creator and preserver, along as well a seamstress. All my items can be found on Facebook, Etsy, Instagram, TikTok, any of your sites. I'm also on Linktree, and you can find me there and message me personally. Come and check me out.
Yes, I am Melinda. I am the CEO and founder of Mental Massage, which is what I talk about most here. But today was all about technology. And I also mentioned that I'm a technologist, and I specialize in technology policy and design, business strategy around technology. So, Mental Massage is a business for offering self care to women who are leaders, and that could be leading organizations, businesses, or what I call intense households. Ironically, one of the main things that I'm looking to do is infuse technology, today's technology, to help match the personalities and the needs of the members of Mental Massage with the right therapist, counselor, instructor. So today, that is a very, very nuanced kind of specialized talent that we as human beings have to kind of see what goes together. It's kind of like how you pick your doctor, how you pick your therapist. And so we have accountability partners that do that. But I am looking forward to also allowing for technology to help us do that and make scheduling easy for these busy ladies and our providers who are awesome. So, Mental Massage, technology and consulting around business strategy and business implementation is what I do. You can find Mental Massage at www.mentalmassagewellness.com. That's mentalmassagewellness.com. Mental Massage Wellness on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Definitely reach out. New packages are literally going up in the next 48 hours. You can have standalone services or work with a therapist or a counselor and instructor that does a multitude of different modalities of self-care that will tailor them around you.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, my name is Stradivari, Mr. B. Right now, I am currently doing my own virtual music business, which is Mr. B's Virtual Music and Art. Behind you, you see the Budded Rose, which is version number 2 behind you, and my Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and Malcolm X, my 3 M's. I have 3 books coming out. My first book already is Artista Stradivari Trouble Clef, and my butterfly, roses, birds, butterflies, and buds drawing book. Please check me out. You can check me out on Amazon. And now you can also check us out on the ATS TV. ATS TV is definitely bringing in the new metaverse. And the metaverse and the mexiverse is going to be awesome. Building this new virtual reality world and seeing what these sisters had to say about it was very, very interesting to me. It had me sold and then it didn't for a second. So I was kind of, flabbergasted that these ladies really knew what they was talking about the virtual world, how we build cryptocurrency, how we're coming in remotely through the virtual world. Metaverse seems like it's building a business outside the virtual reality and our reality. And our reality is, making the things that you really haven't done yet. You just want to do them now. And Miss A is like, you need to really make it a reality instead of doing it virtually. So I'm really going to say on this one, I am in total shock that these ladies have put me in a mental state where I really want to learn more about the metaverse. And you ladies was on point tonight. It's a total happening thing. Miss A, I appreciate you tonight. It was interesting. Miss Melinda, you knocked it out the park. I was like, wow, we all three ladies hit some home runs tonight. And I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. The metaverse and the world really feels your pain, feels your love, and feels your knowledge on knowing about the world and what we're going to go into virtual reality. This is the truth about the world. Thank you so much. This is the unpopular opinion. And as I say, you always got to have a good one. Let's get it. Let's get it tonight. Y'all ready? Y'all ready?
On the unpopular opinion, we have author of Surviving Tough Times, MsUnderstood Adrienne, entrepreneur, Miss AmorBlue, Tatiana, owner of MentalMassage, Melinda, your host, Stradivari, on the unpopular opinion. So let me ask you, ladies, about virtual reality and metaverse, the virtual gaming world. How is life virtually working for you? The gaming world has just turned up on ATS TV.
Thanks for watching. Have a good one.